Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Wellness Network. Oh, is everybody doing well? I don't know. I don't know about this winter stuff. I don't know where you are in the world, but for me, it's still snowing. I can take a break now. It's supposed to be spring, and I know we can't dictate those things, but you know. Anyways, today we have a lovely guest with us, Kristine Baker. Hello, Kristine. How are you doing today?
Hi, Tammy. I'm great, and it's great to be here.
Well, you are not where it's snowing.
No, well, no. New Mexico is at where we are is at 7,000 feet in Santa Fe. So we do have snow, but it is lovely today, and it's supposed to get up to 60.
Beautiful. Oh, that's a nice spring
Mhm.
kind of day.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and I must make a comment because I don't know if anybody else notices here, but Christine has a rainbow on her head. That says something about Christine to me.
My favorite thing in the morning is the rainbows in my room.
Beautiful. What a great way to start your day.
Hmm.
Yep, for sure. So,
Yes.
Christine, what can you tell us about yourself a little bit about what you do and who you are in the world?
Well, I call myself a spiritual educator and a mentor. And I have, since I was 22, been teaching people about spirituality, their inner guidance, their psychic gifts or spiritual gifts, and how to have more fulfillment in life. And I'm attracted to the Women's Wellness Network. I was thinking about it today because one of the first books I got back in the 70s was Who's the Matter with Me? It was this beautiful pink covered book. It was written by this woman about all the thought processes that block the energies in your body in different places. And I remember I sprained my ankle really bad. And in that book, she said that was about relationships. Left is the relationships with women, right is the relationships with men. And it was a very thrilling book to have. It was the first thing I'd seen. Not that we're responsible for all of our health issues, but knowing where we're blocking the energy in our bodies. So, and I have a biology degree. So that's another reason I've always followed what the alternative trends are and taken care of myself and looked at ways that I could improve. Not that I'm the best at it because we have those first year, 7 year blocks, but it's 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 fun being in a physical body, and we have to learn to take care of it
In a physical way.
in a physical way. And we're the spirit that runs it. We're the soul that runs the body. And so we can be like the observer. Oh, why did you do that? What are you saying? Anyway, that's me. Now, what I'm doing is I have the COVID, put a kibosh on lots of things. And so I worked with a lot of more inner endeavors. I got into a relationship for the first time at age 69. In 2020, I moved in with my partner, and he and I have um, been working out loving relationships and being amiable companions and not having expectations with each other. No expectations in a relationship is really good. So I think that's a part of wellness too.
Yeah.
There's really four areas, if you want me to jump into that,
Sure, yeah. What are your
that I
four
have been.
areas?
My four areas that are the most important are we're a spirit first, and knowing that we have that detachment, that awareness. When you're angry at somebody and you have those thoughts back in the back of your head, why am I so angry? Look at me. That sense of detachment goes, this isn't working. I don't need to be this angry. That's the spirit. That's the consciousness that we are. And as we become mindful, which is the word today using yoga terms, the mindfulness, then we can be more balanced. And instead of having high peaks and low valleys of emotional swings, we can start to calm it down. The second is our body, because it's what warns us we're off track. Those emotions flood us, fight or flight, and um, the science says 60 to 90 seconds is all the longer those chemicals that make emotions go can be that's when they can be expired with 60 to 90 seconds. But when we keep thinking about it though, we keep pumping.
Yep.
You know, when we have fear, we keep pumping. A deer will have a predator chase them, they run, they stop, they're safe, they continue eating. But we have this constant pressure. So the body is our warning signal that we need to take a look at what's happening. Then our relationships are where we learn the most, you know. I have a friend who says, I may have pushed your buttons, but I didn't install them.
Ah, that's a good one.
Because we get reactive to people instead of responsive when they've pushed a button. And that button was installed way back when by your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your environment, whatever conclusions you came to about relationships there, you play them out in other relationships. So they're here to help us grow, expand, be more open, be more free, be more aware of who we are. And then there's going out into the world and helping people and being of service and having a job and taking care of those responsibilities. So when we have those in the right order, taking care of our spirit, being mindful of what's happening, taking care of our body, knowing that our relationships are for our growth and not happening, they're happening for us, not to us, and then getting out into the world in that order, life is easier. But what are women taught? Women are taught to take care of the family. I knew that my dog was going to start to say, I have to go out. Just a minute.
Dogs are important. Dogs are people too. When you gotta go, you gotta go. That's fair. I've had a cat interruption. This is my first dog interruption, I think. But we love them. But maybe the dog's signaling
Five
to
pound,
somebody.
she, she's 5 pound Chihuahua.
Oh my goodness. Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
I know, and she's in and out, and the dog door is for the 95 pound pit bull, so she can't jump out that door.
Oh,
So we have to open the door for her. Anyway, I'll be known across the networks as the woman with the dog.
not a bad
So
thing.
those are the four important things that I have had especially in the last 10 years, been looking at much more closely to balance and to be aware of, rather than, trying to think 12 different areas that I have to keep balancing. Let's just see how are we doing in these. And I have four simple processes. If you get angry, love it. If you get hurt, love it. Love the pain. It gets less without resistance. So love is just saying, I accept this, taking a deep breath, pulling back, getting in touch with yourself, and then meditate or be quiet inside. Come to this now moment and reflect, what is going on? Am I really that angry? Did I start it? Did he start it?
Mhm.
Is this pain from an actual injury? Get the facts, and then have gratitude that it's happening for you, not to you. What is this going to teach me? What can I learn from this? I'm so grateful that I have a body. And expanding upon those those four things in those four areas is a way of just keeping it as simple as possible
Mhm.
to stay reconnected with yourself. That's what I've found so far.
I
And
love
life
those.
is continuing to grow. I'm 74. We, you know, I was thinking this morning, some of these coaches, they all look so happy and everything is great and life is great. And yeah, but there's that time when you're alone in the middle of the night and you go, did I do that right? No, no, we all have that.
Of
And
course.
everybody who's watching you needs to know, yes, we're happy and joyful and great now. And we've gone through getting there. And as I said, my goal is to help people have, instead of big peaks, start to smooth out the peaks so that there's more joy more consistently. Because that's what we need in life, to realize that we're free and we're sovereign and no one else is doing it to us. We're doing it within our own thoughts, minds, and feelings, and we can change it. That's me.
Beautiful. No, that's beautiful. I love the four pillars that you have because there's so much that goes with each one. It's not like it's just this and you just, it's very narrow. It's broad and encompasses a whole lot of things. Like paying attention with noticing that you have a soul, noticing that that's a part of who we are. We're not just this, right? We're not just this person
Hmm.
sitting here talking like a robot, saying things. We're actually integrating them as we're having a relationship with somebody. And I love your
Yes.
the button pushing thing. They didn't install them. Exactly. That's so true. And we don't
Yeah.
we don't even notice that we're doing it most of the time. We're just that get pushed and then off in a tangent and then, oh, wait a second. That wasn't actually appropriate.
But sometimes the mind doesn't engage quick enough to stop the reaction. The body does the reaction first. And so exercising the muscle of the brain to be, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. We're not responsible for our first thought. We're responsible for our second thought.
That's very, like, as you were saying, we've got like 60 to 90 seconds of that thing. And if we can keep it together for that amount of time, if
Yeah.
unless of course the house is on fire or whatever, there's an
Right.
immediate danger,
Yeah.
then yeah, we
Physical,
need to train
do the
ourselves that
practical
way.
thing. Do the practical thing. But know that you're perfect human being. Human beings is why we're here, to be a human being. And it's going to involve emotions, sensations, uh, making mistakes, physical injuries, physical trauma. And that's why we're here, because we're a light being, a soul, a consciousness that, in my world, wanted to come and play. Yeah. So, and in my world, we made a contract to have the experiences we're having. And that is not it's a very freeing thing to accept that. To say, I chose my parents. I
Hmm.
chose my parents because of what they could teach me. And I did good. I did pretty good. I chose some pretty good parents in a nice environment on a farm in Illinois. And they gave me a foundation of love. And that's always what I've been, wanting to teach people, is learn to love one another. Love one another as you love yourself. Well, of course, the first start is to love yourself. And what
Right.
does that mean? Accept yourself. Accept it. Life is this way. I had well, I don't know. This story is coming to me. I'll share it
Okay.
and see where it
Somebody
fits.
must need to hear it.
I had a friend who said, "I just want to know what love is." And she had the most loving husband. She was the most loving person. And I kept saying, "You are love. You are love. You radiate love." And, she had had a near death experience. And she had felt that an archangel had been with her when she was making the decision if she was going back into her body or if she was going to stay, with the feeling of so much love that she felt. And she had two young daughters, so she went back. So I think that was the feeling, the intense feeling she was looking for again. But we can't have that intense feeling when we have these physical bodies. So it's really just, how do I feel when I think about holding a baby? I love babies. Not everybody does, but and that's my feeling of love. If I just remember holding my grandnephew when he was 3 months old, I go, yeah, because everything in your body relaxes.
Right.
You become to this now moment. You begin to breathe, and that is centering, and that is that place we all want to have. But we're looking for it out here, and we're trying to have the status and the look and the this and the that,
Right.
and breathing. The yogis had it. Breathe, breathe. So some of my thoughts on how I've found more wellness.
Well, I love the thing about breathing too, because it's something we can control. We have a say in how we help that, facilitate that.
Hmm.
Whether we're trying to energize ourselves or whether we're trying to relax ourselves, the breath can be utilized to do those things. And it's just a practice, right? It's just a practice like anything else. But knowing when to do it and knowing that it needs to be done, that's the awareness, right? That we need to foster and cultivate.
And because of the way that we're conditioned in life in this century, when we all live in cities or fast pace and we have fast cars and we are shallow breathing
Yeah.
a lot. And because of the pressure of, if you're in a city, so many different people,
Mhm.
that you have a sensitive body around you. You know, we're an energy field,
Yeah.
and when you're in a city, you have to pull your energy in so that if you're not conscious, you're pulling your energy in and survival, and that's a part of tension.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the physical tension, there's the spiritual tension. The spiritual tension of I'm defending myself and I need to protect myself is one thing. In a city, you can learn to let it go. I remember traveling to New York City um, from Montreal, actually, through Montreal from Ottawa. Um, and the intensity, just to get across the street, you have to be very alert. You know, you have to be on your toes. So knowing about breathing and knowing about expanding the aura to relax, you're getting your radar out there so you're more protected. You know, when we drive down a street, a one-way street, how do we know, especially a narrow one-way street, how do we know we're in our car not going to hit the other car? I believe there's a sixth sense or an energy field that helps us to do that. Or we walk into an elevator and we draw our energy in and we know not to infringe on other people's space, and then we walk out of the elevator. Some of these things are conscious and not conscious because we are that energy being always in these bodies, and that's why we love going out in nature. And because you can expand and you can get the vibrations of nature's always at peace,
Right.
except in a really good storm, I suppose. But maybe it's peaceful in the storm.
I
But
love it.
yeah, I love trees. I love being out in nature because it is a place where you can recharge your battery.
Totally. Yeah,
Nature. So,
that's me too. That's something I really need in my life is to be outdoors, to at least if it's, it's winter, it's cold out. I love to be by the window and be looking out all day long. I can do
hmm
my work from there, right? And it's just that it is peaceful out there, even if it is stormy. It has its purpose, it has its waves, it has its motions and movements and signals that,
hmm
if it's stormy outside, well, that's a good moment to pause and say, is there something stormy going on inside of me at the moment? Right? Taking those little signals and just using them as a tool, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. In New Mexico, March is the windy month. It started in February this year, but and a lot of people don't like the wind. I love the wind. It shows the invisible power that's available in our universe. It reminds me.
Totally. Yes. It's like it comes to clear things. It comes to, even your own energy field. To me, it feels like when I stand in the wind, it's like a brush going through my whole being that, takes things that I don't need with me. It just
Mhm.
clears me. It feels like it cleanses me.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way I think too. Now, sometimes it can get sandy and dusty,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm lucky I don't have the allergies that a lot of people do in New Mexico. But yeah, the power.
It's awesome. Awesome power. Nature's amazing. And we're nature too, so we are amazing also.
That, when we were talking about the body, um, I recently listened to a interview by Rupert Sheldrake talking about how the concept of the body being a machine came into effect. and taking it apart and thinking that, well, you have a cardiologist and you have a endocrinologist and you have a thisologist and a thatologist for all the different parts of the body, instead of it being the whole and servicing the whole. We've forgotten that we are nature.
Mhm.
We've forgotten that we are um, one with everything that's around us, and that everything is around us affects us, and that there's a very thin layer of atmosphere. And, you so I think women are the ones who will reconnect us and bring that awareness more. Wait a minute, let's stop treating ourselves so harshly like a machine in the gym working out. Go outside and work out, you know?
Right?
I mean, I'm talking to myself. Uh,
That's fair.
but,
But you're probably talking to a lot of us other ones too.
yeah, and just remembering that we're nature, helping the people around us, raising children out in nature, giving them the opportunity. My father would take us on trips to see different things, and go to parks that were beautiful, and we'd always be out somewhere. And nowadays, of course, children aren't, and they don't even know in cities the stars and what the
Right?
stars look like.
That's a sad
So,
thing.
you know, that's a part of women's wellness and women's service, is to heal ourselves of the push that we've been conditioned to put on ourselves, to compete, to compare ourselves, to look right, to do this, to do that, all the shoulds of society, because that's just the rules and regulations of society. And every different society has a different set of rules and regulations. So, but that cuts off our true heart, our true feeling, our true enthusiasm, our true, and we're pushing ourselves consciously or unconsciously, because the programming is sometimes we don't even realize it, and we're not getting that flow that is our natural way of being. As women, we're more earth centered and more grounded. And anyway, I could
Yeah.
go on
Well,
for
well,
hours
just
talking.
the whole cycle of being a woman and you know, at different times of the month, right?
Yes.
The moon period. Um, we are a little bit different. We behave a little bit different. Sometimes we're a little more masculine, sometimes we're a little more feminine. And that has to cycle in it. And we have to realize that it's okay to be all of those things. We don't need to
Yes.
shove away any
No.
parts of us anymore. And that's the, full integration, as you were saying, it's seems like it's going to be up to the women. Maybe that's because, the men have tried and what they're doing it's obviously it's collapsing. It's not working for the benefit of the whole. And maybe we have a better connection to ourselves deeper that way that we can, I don't know, grasp it and present it to
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. It's as one person heals, they can heal their whole family. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 22, and I go and visit my family, and I see their change. I see different, and I see the younger generation. I have a nephew and his wife, and they are um, raising kids homeschooled with a barn load of animals and chores and a huge garden and canning, and doing things like I did
Right.
two generations ago. So it's very interesting to see that it's both. It's not a division between masculine and feminine. It's just that bringing it together and being more balanced in it,
Yeah, both
because we do
and.
need both parts. We need both parts for sure. And it's just fun to see. I look for what's happening in the world that's good.
Oh, yes.
What people are doing that is creating the peace and tranquility we all really want.
Oh, yes. Yes, all of us. Yes, men, women, and of course it's up to us to deliver that to the younger people. We've learned the things we've learned, we've been conditioned, but ultimately we know better now. We can undo those things and just do better. When we know better, we should do better. I think
That's right.
ultimately.
That's
So
right.
I know you mentioned before, and you just mentioned it again. When you were 22, you started doing this work. Was there some kind of trigger that made you decide that this
Well,
was for you?
I I had I was sensitive to different things as a child growing up, and I was reading actually an Edgar Casey book on because he was called the Sleeping Prophet,
Mhm.
and he would go into trance, and it was a book on healing,
Mhm.
and I thought I would like to be able to heal people like that. Now, I'm not a trance medium and can do that kind of thing, but helping people to understand what's going on and to know their power. And so I was working in medical research, and we used to turn on the radio and listen to this radio talk show at noon. And a woman was on. I was about to leave the office, and a woman was on saying, "Everybody has ESP," which was what I was, going, oh, Edgar Casey, everybody has it too. So I sat down and listened to the lecture, and it was a program that at the time was called the Inner Peace Movement, and now has grown into Wayshowers College. And I was with it for until 1999. The founder died, and so the program changed. So that was from 1972 to 1999, and I was hooked. This is what I came to do,
Right.
was to help people to connect with their true self again. And so I loved giving lectures, touring across the country, working in our office, doing anything that would support. I'm a more support person than an out in the front for person. I have both, but so I did that. And then I had done that all my life, my business life, until the founder died in 2001. I moved to Santa Fe, and I had gotten out of balance in those four areas.
Mm.
I was not paying attention to my health. I lost all the relationships I'd been a part of with the program because it sort of fell apart after the founder died as a nonprofit. And so I've spent the last 20 years working on discovering new things and learning to apply all the things that I had learned before. Sometimes it can be theory and maturity comes with age and with experience. So the last 20 years, I've done things like laughter yoga to learn to be less serious, and real love, the truth about unconditional love and fulfilling relationships,
Greg
which
Bear.
is to help. Yeah, Greg Bear, you know him. And I even did Landmark Forum and Conscious Language with Robert Tennyson Stevens, and met Joe Dispenza, and lots of different things to broaden everything that I know, because now I know even more about how to help more people because I got out there and um, learned lots of things that people are experiencing, and it's coming back to.
Right.
I'm so excited about what Amos started, and that now you and my friend Ginny Wimmer is a friend of mine, and Paul and Susan and Sandra. So let's get it together. Let's help each other. Let's
Yeah.
make a big, 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 big tribe of people making a lot of difference.
The movement has started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
people would like to work with you or contact you or know more about you, can they find you?
Well, the best way would be to direct message me through my
Okay.
Facebook page. It's Kristine Baker, the one in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I have another page, but I am not a techie person, and it's confusing me. It's called Lighthearted Love. So if you go there, I don't know what you'll see, but it is in my 3-month plan to get it up and going. And I do, if you can Google some YouTube videos, I've been giving talks around the country for a while under
Oh,
Kristine Baker with a K.
okay, that's awesome. Okay, we're going to put that information in the comments so that people can find you also because, you have like your own vibe going on. You've got your own way that you do things. And I also really love that you've got your sciencey part and your spiritual part. And when you put those together, This is exactly it. Centered,
That's
connected. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
that's
beautiful.
been my life mission, is to get them in balance. I used to say they were sideways, fully grown on both sides, but they were,
A
sideways.
little
So
off.
getting more together.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today,
Thank
Kristine.
you,
It was
Tammy.
lovely to speak with you. And thank you, Women of the Women's Wellness Network, for hanging out with us here today. And if you want to connect with Kristine, we'll put the information in the comments. And yeah, until then, until next time, be well.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you
Be
so much,
well.
Kristine.